Tonight on News 5 Live, the Minister of Health visits the Southern Regional Hospital where nurses expressed their concerns following a weekend protest. An 8-year-old is electrocuted in Pomona on attempting to plug in an electronic device. And the 2022 Carnival Mass Camp will show you what Day 1 looked like. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
Make your summer better. Over $35,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Purchase any device, sign up for a smart postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan, use $50 or more regular prepaid credit, do a SIM swap, or text to the short code. You win 8946. And in the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase. Each entry costs only 50 cents.
Don't waste any time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes starting July 1st. All methods give you more chances to win. Airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize of a $10,000 shopping spree courtesy Court and Smart.
Promotion ends September 16, 2022. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
Travelers, are you?
Thank you for supporting us throughout our journey over the years. Thank you for helping us to expand and improve our products and services. Thank you for allowing us to form new partnerships and develop new and exciting promotions. And thank you for being patient with us during these changing times. As we continue our journey, we would like to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve you.
Venice, celebrating 75 years. Quality and savings. Quality and savings.
Carnival is back. Back on the streets again, and the best seat in the house is right here on Channel 5. Tune in on Saturday, September 3rd at 1 p.m. to catch our coverage featuring all things Carnival, from the King and Queen competition to mass camps to Juve, and leading up to this year's Road March. We'll bring you the sights and sounds of this year's Carnival live on Channel 5 and streamed on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Don't miss Carnival Road March 2022 live on 5.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, August 30th. I am Sabrina Daly. On Monday, Minister of Health and Wellness Kevin Bernard made a commitment to visit the nurses at the Southern Regional Hospital in the wake of a demonstration that began with a walkout on Saturday. Today, Minister Bernard kept his word. Nurses at the Southern Regional Hospital were the first to stage a protest over the weekend, which subsequently sparked similar protests across the country, outside of other public health facilities on Monday. Minister Bernard had noted that most of the issues the nurses at the hospital protested against were of an administrative nature. He saw it fit to give them an audience for them to properly ventilate their concerns. That meeting began inside the hospital at 10 a.m. and lasted for over 3 hours. News 5's Paul Lopez was there and filed the following report.
I was very pleased that the ministers took out of their very busy time to come and listen to us. The nurses are very pleased at this moment. We felt like we got across the message that we want to deliver.
Minister of Health Kevin Bernard spent 3 hours listening to the concerns of the nurses at the Southern Regional Hospital. When Bernard and his colleagues, Dr. Louis Zabane, Area Representative for Dangriga, and Rodwell Ferguson, Area Representative for Stan Creek West, emerged from inside the hospital, the Minister of Health had this to say.
As I mentioned to them, I'm here to listen. We're here to find solutions to the problems and set out timelines when we could address their concerns. I think that the staff was very genuine. They were open and frank of many of the things that they feel need to be addressed. Many of these things, of course, some of them administratively, and others infrastructure problems that we have to address. And I gave them my assurance that we're going to work on these things.
On Saturday, nurses at the hospital spoke out against the alleged ill treatment that they were experiencing at the hands of their administrative supervisor. This was one of the issues raised in today's meeting.
Some of the issues that was identified, that we have identified and the ministers have identified, is that most of our issues were internal. So they have heard our complaint. We have write our petition against some people in administration, and we have requested new supervisors, or so we have made our petition, and they will look over it, and they will try to find personnel to come and take over whatever they need to do.
How did you take to the complaints they made so vexingly, which you found to be a surprise, against their administrative supervisor?
As I said to them, if that decision has to be made, then we will make that decision. If we have to make that change, then we will make that change in order to improve the condition, the working environment. At the end of the day, no one is indispensable, and we need to make sure that in every work environment, every workplace, if there's somebody that is creating more havoc for you, then that person has to go.
But administrative issues aren't the only challenges the Southern Regional Hospital is faced with. As Dr. Louis Zabane pointed out, the hospital is in great need of infrastructural upgrades.
We need to have the necessary investment to improve the facilities. This started way back even before elections in my experience working with the folks here, when we had the issue with the morgue. And we finally got that matter semi-addressed. It's still not properly addressed. So I am very, very grateful that Minister Bernard has come personally. But if you were to take a tour inside here, you would see that, in fact, we are probably one of the most needy institutions in the country.
What makes you say that?
Well, we've taken tours in there. You would see that many of the air conditioning units are not working. The rooms are needing to be upgraded, etc. Right? So these are things now that we're addressing.
The protest that sparked a national movement on Monday, which led to several resolutions, and today's visit began here at the Southern Regional Hospital. The nurses at the Southern Regional Hospital says the message they sent on Saturday was clear.
We sent a clear message, and we had tremendous support from nurses all over the country. I had certain presidents, unions calling me and say, yes, we will stand with you guys. We are in full support, because this problem is not only Southern Regional Hospital, it's countrywide. Nurses are tired, we don't have supply resources, we don't have staff. So everybody was in support of our protests.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness recently signed tender contracts valued at $30 million for the supply of medications and medical supplies. Minister of Health Kevin Bernard explained that there is a brief delay in the delivery of these items because the contracts give suppliers 30 to 60 days to deliver. Minister Bernard says that supplies, including Tylenol, are already in country and are being processed for distribution. Here is what he told us.
The issue with medical supplies is that we had some delays. We are now receiving these items in stock by suppliers, and so like we have set out by the end of September, we should not have these issues where people are saying that they don't have basic medication and so forth. We are receiving our items as they're coming in. I know that one of the big story was that that we don't have Tylenol and so forth. We have the Tylenol, but we have it in pill form. But the liquid form has just come into country by the supplier. Now that is being inspected by the Ministry of Health, because whenever a supplier brings in a product, they have to be inspected, and then we could then disperse these to the different facilities.
Our suppliers are not delivering fast enough. Shouldn't we change our suppliers to suppliers that are more reliable?
Well, it's not a matter that the suppliers were not delivering on time. Remember, we just signed the tender contracts about a month ago, and so the lead time for delivery was between 30 to 60 days. So that created a bit of delay. But what really led to many of the other issues was the previous tender, where we had to reject almost $2 million worth of a specific supplier of products because the ministry couldn't accept the quality of product that was being delivered. And so that even compounded the problem. But that's not something that was happening way back, even before in the previous administration. We have put an end to that. And that's the reason why when we did this tender, we spoke about quality, we spoke about value for money, and we also spoke about timely delivery. And that is what we're going to improve in terms of this. When we start to receive products, you shouldn't hear in the next 3 months, you have this problem.
How much did we spend on this recent procurement?
Well, the tender, you're talking about a tender of almost $30 million, yes, in medication and medical supplies.
Nextera environmental and engineering consultant Alan Herrera has responded to a group of non-government organizations that wrote to him last week. The group of NGOs had asked Herrera, the principal consultant for the Port of Belize cruise tourism facility and cargo expansion proposed by Waterloo Investment Holdings Limited, to point out the difference between two environmental and social impact assessments that the company has submitted for the project. The 12 NGOs had asked for clarity on the terms being used, particularly as they relate to the location for the disposal of dredge spoils. The groups had also emphasized their position that dumping that material anywhere near or in the Caribbean Sea is bound to impact the Belize Barrier Reef system. Herrera, in his response, explained that the initial ESIA report included offshore disposal of the dredge material as a sustainable placement method for that. He went on to say that while the company was sure the offshore disposal could have been carried out in an environmentally sound manner, they listened to the public's concern, abandoned the initial plan, and instead came up with another option of disposal, which Herrera describes in the letter as, quote, an environmentally viable alternative to offshore placement through the use of an expanded nearshore disposal site within the project envelope, unquote. He also explained in his letter that the difference between the ESIAs is additional information that the National Environmental Appraisal Committee, NEAC, had requested. The letter also provides highlights of the relevant sections where the new information can be found. On Thursday evening, starting at 6:30 at the Belize Biltmore Plaza, a public consultation will be held on the project. Thereafter, the Department of the Environment will review written comments. As we reported last week, Vulcan Materials Company has written to the people of Gales Point, offering them jobs that pay 2 times the existing minimum wage to carry out additional core sampling on White Ridge Farms, where it intends to conduct mining activities. Since then, there has been what is being described as a divide and conquer tactic. oftentimes used to win over a majority decision on a particular issue. But today, through their White Ridge partners, Vulcan denied using that strategy and offered an update on where they are with the project proposal. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
I am perturbed that we are getting reports of a divide and conquer strategy by this company.
Minister Dolores Balaramas Garcia, area representative for Belize Rural Central, has expressed concern over reports she has received that Vulcan is employing unsavory tactics to win the support of the majority of people in Gales Point who are in need of economic upliftment. Vulcan Materials Company's Jimmy Fleming sent us a response to this and other allegations that have surfaced about them. It reads, quote, "This allegation is not true. It is baseless and without merit. We operate in full compliance with U.S., Belize, and international regulations. We adhere to strict company-wide business conduct policies and ethics across all of our operations," unquote. The minister told us today that villagers had raised concerns to her several months ago that they did not support the mining project that the company is planning to carry out in their backyard, and that she had acted on their behalf.
I had approached, on behalf of the people of Gales Point, and of course the chairman, Mr. Jason Alshaft, I approached Minister Cordell and made some vigorous lobbying on behalf of my people of Gales Point. And I found him to be very receptive and in agreement that this is not the kind of thing that is good for that community and its environs. Not only because of manatees and baby turtles, but also because we want to keep our country pristine. And if we have blue bond commitments, then I believe that we should try to comply as much as possible.
Minister Garcia says that there's been a clear position taken by conservationists and environmentalists against the project.
Other persons and entities and organizations have chimed in. But I believe that recently we have seen a definitive position. The Belize Audubon Society, the Nature Conservancy. The Audubon Society and the Nature Conservancy have been cautious. I believe I could say that they have been cautious. They're not, they're not coming down on one side. But I think if you parse it, if you look at it carefully, there has been a tremendous amount of objection. There are many letters, as you yourselves have brought over the news, and the people of Gales Point, I believe, the majority of them are standing firm.
Last week, Gales Point elder Leroy Andrewin told us how much the natural scenery benefits his tours. Minister Garcia said tourism is one of the sources of revenues that the government has planned for Gales Point, especially with the resurfacing of the access road to the village.
Minister Anthony Mahler has discussed with me recently a little project that we may be able to provide about between 15 to 20 septic tanks for some of the people so that we can enhance the cleanliness of the community so that the tourists can come in. And also, I want to mention that through the Social Investment Fund, and I have been lobbying for this, through SIF, there is on stream a proposal to build a new preschool and also to fully rehabilitate the government primary school of Gales Point.
Vulcan, meanwhile, has provided us with an update on the economic activity that the work has created for Gales Point villagers. The information from Jimmy Fleming reads, quote, "As of last week, 24 men and women of Gales Point Village began work on property maintenance. That work will be ongoing as we continue fulfilling our commitment as responsible property owners and neighbors. There will be an additional work opportunities on more projects throughout the year," unquote. Vulcan's goal is to get an environmental and social impact assessment approved in order that it may be able to carry out the mining of aggregates. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Coming up, Jungle Rat is found guilty of 2014 murder. Details when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "For we know that when this earthly tent we live in is taken down, that is, when we die and leave this earthly body, we will have a house in heaven, an eternal body made for us by God Himself and not with human hands." Recently, I read an unusual letter written by a dear child of God facing death to his body he had inhabited for many years, as he was about to move out of it into a more eternal one. He wrote, "You and I have been together for a long time in a most intimate and valuable relationship. Now you have grown old. Your hearing and strength are failing. Your resistance to cold is diminishing. You cannot climb and run as you once did. In a word, you're running down. In a short time, you will cease to breathe and your heart will stop beating. When you can go no further, you will be returned to the substance of which you were made, and I shall continue on in that life where you are not needed. A power greater than you and I started us on this journey together. Your journey is nearing its end, while my journey has scarcely begun. I know this to be true, for while you are feeble, I have never been more alive. Our separation, therefore, cannot be one of sadness, but will be one of joy. You are weary and want to stop. I am longing to alight from this slow vehicle and go on without you. Death will mean that your desire to stop is granted, and my longing is satisfied with this final move into my eternal body and home." Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Valiant and bold, proud and strong. Oh, Belize, we bounce at 41. Yes, we rebound at 41. Everything nice again. Everything okay again. We building strength back again. Economy rolling again. Cause we smart and we brilliant. And we people resilient. Cause we're all significant. So let we join hands cause we relevant. Todavía estamos representando. Manteniendo viva la cultura, valiente y ahora orgulloso y fuerte, rebotes de Belice a los 41.
We party, we celebrate, we give thanks for freedom. We independent for life, we independent for life. We party, we celebrate, we give thanks for freedom. We independent for life.
To the Coxcomb Peak, from Coruscant down to PG. Me say we bold and strong, we 41 and a sovereign nation. Me say we setting the foundation, right there so, for the younger ones. We help building each other solid and strong, with healthy minds, firm education. We valiant and bold, proud and strong. Oh, Belize, we born at 41. Yes, we born at 41. We valiant and bold, proud and strong. Oh, Belize, we born at 41. Yes, we rebound at 41. Yeah, baby. Started work at the young. Police in the needle day. Also don't make the whole go on. Look what do, Ere, Luman, I need to go. It's a Lubati, Balisilo. The Yama way about.
Party, we celebrate, we give thanks for freedom. We independent for life. We independent for life. We party, we celebrate, we give thanks for freedom. We independent for life. Belize rebounds at 41.
Flags in the air, put your flags in the air. Fly them high, fly them proud. Flags in the air. We party, we celebrate, we give thanks for freedom. We independent for life. Belize rebounds at 41. Independence, happy independence, yeah. Independence, happy independence, yeah.
A child is dead following a freak accident inside her home in Pomona Village. 8-year-old Jacqueline Valdez was electrocuted while connecting a television to an extension cord. She was alone in the house at the time of the incident, as her mother was serving customers inside the family store. It is a tragic death, and the family is now preparing to bury their beloved daughter and sister. News 5's Paul Lopez was in Pomona Village, and he filed the following report.
8-year-old Jacqueline Valdez was using an extension cord to power up a television inside her living room in Pomona Village when she was electrocuted. Her family's pastor, Sandra Kush, was one of the first persons to respond to the scene.
When I came here, the little girl mother, she was just crying and bawling and trying to help her daughter. And her daughter, we can't respond. She was like drop asleep. And we tried to help her, give her some, like possess some air and try to help her. But when we see she can't respond, so they took her to the hospital. I think she may, I don't know if she was already dead, but she didn't answer or respond at that time there. So they rushed her to hospital. So as soon as she reached the hospital, doctor pronounced her dead.
Jacqueline was reportedly doing the dishes inside the kitchen while her mother was tending to customers inside the family store located at the front of the property. Jacqueline was soaked in water when her mother came across her motionless body on the living room floor. The family suspects that Jacqueline was attempting to connect a television to a faulty extension cord after leaving the kitchen.
They were washing dishes, and the little girl must, she got wet. And then her mother told her not to go in and on the TV. But she, once the mother was out there, the little girl went inside and hold an extension. And it looked like the extension was damaged. And while she was going to plug in the TV to the extension, she got shocked. Her mother gave me a call, crying, and she told me, Pastor, please come to my house. Something is happening to my daughter. So I hurried, came to her help, and we prayed together and tried to do something, but I think it was too late.
Cruz described Jacqueline as an intelligent child who loved singing and praying in church. Jacqueline was also a student at Holy Angel RC School who enjoyed helping her mother with household chores. Today, her younger brother was building a tent in preparation for his little sister's wake. Church members were gathered inside the living room preparing meals for the event.
This is something very hard and unbelievable because she was just a little girl, was smart, amazing, brave, and willing to do everything what we tried to tell her to do. And it's hard for us, church members, her family, and we're here to support her. I know it's hard for her because it's unbelievable.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
27-year-old Jason Sanchez appeared before Justice Herbert Lord on Monday, where he was convicted for the execution-style murder of Emerson Arnold, an employee of Belize Water Services Limited. The incident took place on the morning of November 28, 2014, when Arnold was shot as many as 6 times by his attacker. Sanchez, otherwise known as Jungle Rat, was subsequently identified as the gunman. The deadly shooting was witnessed by a woman who identified Sanchez as someone she knew for over 10 years. At the Supreme Court, Justice Lord had been presiding over the matter since it began in March 2021. Notwithstanding numerous delays since then, as well as the witness's absence from court, Sanchez was found guilty of murder on Monday morning. While noting that the burden of proof fell on the Crown, Justice Lord, in delivering his ruling, did not believe Sanchez's account of what transpired and rejected his testimony. The eyewitness failed to show up in court following several threats on her life after she positively identified Sanchez as the shooter. Her statement, which was given to police, was admitted into evidence in the trial against Sanchez. Sentencing for the convicted killer has been deferred to a later date. A security guard employed by the Belize Brewing Company has been charged for stealing 15 cases of Smirnoff from the compound in Ladyville. 36-year-old Philip James Lopez is accused of making off with the boxes, each valued at $78. The theft allegedly occurred over the weekend and was captured on surveillance camera. This morning, the resident of Central American Boulevard appeared in Magistrates Court number 3, where he was read a single charge of theft. The combined value of the stolen boxes of Smirnoff amounts to $1,170. In court, prosecutors did not object to bail, which was granted in the sum of $1,500, plus one surety of the same amount. At 4 o'clock this evening, Lopez was unable to meet bail and has been remanded to the Belize Central Prison until he is able to do so. He is scheduled to return to court on October 28th. After the break, 7,000 applications so far for Amnesty Program 2022. We'll have that and more when we come back.
With RF&G Insurance, you can request a quote, renew a policy, purchase a policy, and even file a claim effortlessly with WhatsApp. Here's how. WhatsApp the words "Get Started" to 670-8700. We will prompt you to select the service that you are interested in. Select the service and answer a few simple questions. An RF&G representative will process your request and follow up with you when your transaction is completed. It's that easy. Skip lines and WhatsApp us. Remember, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a road group company.
My name is Dr. Eck, and I'm a pediatrician at the Belize Pediatric Center. COVID-19 vaccines are safe to be used in persons with chronic illnesses, including children. Even children with asthma, diabetes, a heart condition, or any other illness can be vaccinated. Children with chronic illnesses have a greater risk for complications due to COVID-19 compared to healthy children. Get your child vaccinated at school or at the nearest vaccination site.
Your Tuesday night entertainment is back. KTV The Remix Season 4.
KTV.
Come on out and win fabulous prizes and the chance to compete in our halftime challenge. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Coney Drive at $3 for children and $5 for adults. Mask will be required. Or you can watch it live on Channel 5 or streaming on Facebook. The show starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 4. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Start your engines now for the National MSME Roadshow, geared towards building the resilience of MSMEs and developing a national MSME directory. Sign up for this 3-day event filled with intensive boot camps, presentations, MSME support and formalization clinics, pop-up shops, and more to help you develop and promote your business. The National MSME Roadshow will be in Corozal starting August 24th, Orinduak August 31st, Belize City September 7th, Punta Gorda September 14th, Key Cocker September 22nd, Belmopan September 28th, San Ignacio and San Helena on October 5th, Sangria October 12th, Placencia October 19th, and closes in San Pedro from October 26th. Learn more and sign up for the National MSME Roadshow by visiting the Beltrade Facebook page or call or WhatsApp us at 613-5139. And let's get your business on the road.
second joint UN work plan was officially signed today between partner agencies as part of a strategic program to support migrants, refugees, and the Belize Amnesty 2022. It is a plan that focuses on areas such as advocacy, legal reform, system strengthening, and capacity development, as well as community engagement among these vulnerable migrant communities. In that same vein, it assists with GOB's ongoing amnesty program. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Collectively, as the UN system in Belize, representatives from the International Organization for Migration, UNICEF, and the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, signed off on a 2022 work plan to assist approximately 60,000 unregulated migrants believed to be in the country. These agencies provide support at all levels to migrants who are primarily from other Central American countries.
The second joint UN work plan to address the issues of some of the most vulnerable populations in Belize: migrants, refugees, asylum seekers, and very importantly, the host communities. At present, there are approximately 60,000 foreign nationals in Belize. This is accounting for 15.4% of the country's total population, with migrants and refugees primarily from Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, the United States of America, and Mexico being transit points. We are also seeing new areas coming into Belize. We are seeing Haiti, Costa Rica, and a few other countries also transiting through Belize.
This action plan supports the Belize Amnesty Agenda 2022, for which scheduled appointments for applicants commenced earlier this month on August 2nd.
It is clear from the objectives of these organizations, the government of Belize, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Immigration, that we have shared values, that we have core values in terms of working together, and we're working in terms of similar objectives. We're currently completing the first month of Amnesty 2022, and we're also looking at how we can smoothly go through that process, making sure all the checks and balances are in play. Even in the amnesty process, we're getting assistance from several ministries, from several organizations that's noted here. And as noted by Ms. Alison Parker, it has to be comprehensive and it has to be coordinated.
The work plan is not limited to the amnesty program. Over the years, there have been immense results, and the objective of achieving the proper management of movement is to ensure that those affected are not denied fundamental rights and liberties.
It focuses on creating policy change to manage the current migration-related challenges and opportunities faced by this country, resulting in a coordinated response to migrants and all relevant institutions and sectors. We want to also address xenophobia and discrimination, because we do recognize that the arrival of migrants and refugees do not necessarily negate an economy. They actually sometimes enhance an economy and complement the skill sets within a country. We want to protect children from exploitation and violence.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
During today's press conference, News 5 asked about the status of the Amnesty Program 2022. There are an estimated 60,000 unregulated migrants living in Belize. The process so far has identified that majority are located in Cayo District, followed by Belize City, and then Dangriga and Toledo. To date, approximately 10% of this vulnerable population has applied. Here's that update.
To my recollection, we were looking at a total of 6,000 plus individuals. That would include applicants and their dependents, whom would be a spouse or a child in terms of the raw number, so it's approximately 7,000. Thus far, we've gotten some 3,000 applications. So the way it worked out, the first month would have the highest concentration, so almost 50% of the total appointments were made in the first month of August. So the way it looks now, it would be September, October, November. We have 50% of the applicants would be slated for that time. So the first month was chaotic, and now it's easing down. As noted, it will be some 10% of the total estimated numbers.
We're also seeing large numbers in Toledo. These are people, the ones in Toledo actually are people who have grown Belizean children, many grown Belizean children, but they've actually lived in the country for many years because of the challenges they have coming in to get their documents prepared. They just haven't bothered. So this is one of the reasons, but definitely Cayo is the largest. We've had like 4,000 consultations with persons, and that's through our mobile hub, through our Migrant Resource Center, which is also indicated in our work plan. They continue to see on a daily basis persons who are coming in every day, whether by appointments or walk-in, to help people who are interested in applying for the amnesty.
On the ground, there are those who, due to financial constraints, have not applied to the amnesty program. And so, to help with boosting those numbers, the UN network in Belize has been lending support to the government in engaging with those who qualify for amnesty.
We're also going a step further because we saw the need was so great in Toledo. We're actually paying for all of the services that are required in the application process for persons in Toledo. So from the medical, the police record, we're paying for all of it and helping them to complete the application in the hope that they can get their application into the registration center.
We are working with 7,000 persons of concern. Our objective is to provide support to 1,200 people, the most vulnerable ones. And assistance includes not only the information provision, support with the documentation filing, but it's actual material support. So we're looking at the families who have larger family compositions, those who don't have economic means or don't have work, right, to be able to support those who have family members with elderly or have serious medical conditions. We do provide them with the transportation through our partners, Health for Progress, Humana, and HRCB, Human Rights Commission of Belize, in the various districts where the population of concern, asylum seekers, refugees, reside. So that includes transportation assistance to the destinations of whether it's hospitals, police offices, where they can obtain the medical certificates of the TB and HIV testing. They get police record certificates as well as support with the translation of documents and reaching the destination of the embassies where required.
As we map, one of the amazing things we've done is that we met with the ambassadors of the various countries as well to see, because they know where their people are as well. So as we roll out increasingly and go out into especially the periphery, we have identified in terms of mapping over 70 migrant and refugee communities across the country. So when we look at those mapping in different scales, so as we map and we move out, we'll be able to see where they are.
Of note is that at the end of the amnesty exercise, those who did not qualify will be dealt with by law enforcement agencies and likely face repatriation. When we return, after 5 decades, Carl H. Menzies closes its storefront and goes fully digital. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Ignite the innovator in you with Dell. Cellular World is an authorized partner for Dell Technologies. Whether you're looking for equipment for personal use or to transform your business, Dell Technologies can provide you with the right equipment to suit your needs. Dell is more than just desktop computers and laptops. The full line also includes monitors, data storage solutions, keyboards, docking stations, and other accessories. This is technology that makes it possible and provides solutions for every situation. Shop for your Dell products at Cellular World, your #1 Dell authorized partner in Belize, and get all the technology you want for less. Bring your brightest ideas to life with intelligent technology. Cellular World, authorized Dell partner.
Compostable plastics. To understand what a compostable plastic is, we need to know that composting is a natural way to recycle decomposed organic material like oranges or banana peels. So, a compostable plastic is similar to the banana peel in the sense that it also undergoes biological decomposition in a compost site and doesn't leave any toxic residue. In fact, it breaks down into carbon dioxide, water, inorganic compounds, and biomass at a similar rate of compostable materials. This is great because once properly disposed of, compostable plastic food packaging will be broken down in a manner much kinder to the environment compared to plastics. The recycled materials would return to Earth quickly and safely as soil when disposed of in the right environmental conditions and temperatures. It's important to note that for decomposition to occur, all compostable products must reach a sanitary landfill, where there is proper management of the waste through disposal and treatment. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Carnival is back on the streets again, and the best seat in the house is right here on Channel 5. Tune in on Saturday, September 3rd at 1 p.m. to catch our coverage featuring all things Carnival, from the King and Queen competition to mass camps to Juve, and leading up to this year's Road March. We'll bring you the sights and sounds of this year's Carnival live on Channel 5 and streamed on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Don't miss Carnival Road March 2022 live on 5.
Carl H. Menzies is making the switch to online sales only. The decision to do so comes after 5 decades of doing business from the company's storefront on Barrack Road. The announcement was made earlier today, and News 5 visited Belize On, a subsidiary of Socius Limited, which operates Carl H. Menzies. News 5's Isani Catano reports.
53 years after opening its doors to the Belizean public, Carl H. Menzies is shuttering its storefront. The company, famous for paints, spirits, and automotive accessories, is fully embracing the digital era and is fully transitioning to the online marketplace.
I think when we think about legacy Belizean companies, the first name that comes to mind is Carl H. Menzies. And Carl H. Menzies has been serving the Belizean community proudly for the last 53 years in the paint and alcohol industry. And this physical closing of our storefront doesn't represent a closing to us. What it represents is a transformation and a transition into a more digital world.
In 2019, just ahead of the COVID-19 pandemic, the management of the company decided that it would venture into online shopping. That idea led to the establishment of Belize On. Yannick Flowers is the marketing manager.
What a lot of people don't know is Carl H. Menzies invested and created Belize On 3 years ago, and it has grown exponentially to the heights that we never thought. And so we have our Belize On online marketplace, our Belize On Dropbox door-to-door delivery, and we also have our crowd favorite, our Belize On the Way food delivery app. So I think, Carl H. Menzies has been very, very busy, and it's been a decision to bring this company to the forefront. And we think it's a decision and a transformation and disruption that Mr. Menzies would have been very proud to see.
When Belize On was first introduced to the masses of Belizean shoppers, only 5 vendors were doing business on the platform. Since then, it has grown exponentially to include several other offerings, including a delivery service as well as a restaurant takeout app.
We have our Belize On e-commerce site, right? And that has grown over the last 3 years to host over 2,000 products with over 100 local vendors selling those products on the site. We have our Belize On Dropbox, which is our door-to-door delivery service, and we've actually invested in some fleet line boats to really handle our market. So we're really, really excited about this investment. And then, like I said, our crowd favorite is our Belize On the Way food delivery app, and we have, since our inception in March, that has really taken off, and we have over 18 restaurants, all your local favorite restaurants on the site. So we urge everyone to download our Belize On the Way app, urge everyone to go on our e-commerce site, use our Dropbox, because this is really a start for Carl H. Menzies and a start for Belize On. What we want people to know is that we are doing a remodeling right now of the iconic 104 Barrack Road location, and that will be our new Belize On office. And so it'll even be where people can take their packages to get delivered countrywide. And so, like I said, not a closing, but a transformation, right?
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
FIFA President Gianni Infantino will be in Belize ahead of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. Infantino is scheduled to pay a visit to the Football Federation of Belize's headquarters in Belmopan on Wednesday, where he will brief the press. When we caught up with Minister of Sports Rodwell Ferguson earlier today, we asked him about the significance of the visit.
It will show that Belize has now become on the map. Just last week, or 2 weeks ago, when they had the camp for schools, and they're going to implement it in the near future, Belize has been chosen as the 14th country out of 211 countries. That is very significant. And the president is coming before our World Cup. That is how important Belize is. Even though we are small, we can reach the stage that FIFA wants us to reach. So I'm very happy that he'll be here tomorrow.
Just ahead, BDF to receive troop lifting vehicles and office equipment.
Hospital Galenia cuenta con las 4 más importantes certificaciones hospitalarias en el mundo, incluyendo la certificación internacional AENOR, que avala las mejores prácticas para evitar la propagación del SARS-CoV-2 en los hospitales.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
Everything must come to an end. A much-needed vacation, or even a good book. What about the world? How will it end? Should we be worried about the end? Frightened even? What does the Bible actually say about the end? Tune in right here as we discuss the end.
Keep still now.
Ouch.
I tell you no move.
Wow. You really can't get a mannequin for this, man? Really?
Well, son, if I never lend you the $2,000 to buy the kids' computer and the book, I may have the money for buying my mannequin.
It's definitely better to borrow from the bank than from your friends or relatives. This way, all you owe is money.
Would you like me to turn around?
That would be good. Turn on, turn on, turn on.
Take advantage of the back-to-school promotion currently being offered by the Belize Bank.
Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi.
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
The highly anticipated return of the Carnival Road March is 4 days away, and band leaders are preparing their final costumes for the Bacchanal. A total of 9 bands will be participating in the Road March this year, 4 seniors and 5 junior bands, all from Belize City. But even before the revelers take to the streets of the old capital in their colorful and innovative costumes, their band leaders must survive the judging of the mass camps, which adds to the final score to determine the Road March champions. News 5's Dwayne Moody headed out for day 1 of mass camps and files this report.
Day 1 of coverage for the Mass Camp 2022 begins at Bacchanal Mass Band on Miller Street. Band leader Coleman Hall is highlighting the Caribbean countries where Carnival is held with its theme, One Caribbean, One Nation.
We're one Caribbean and we're one nation. People tend to forget that we are one. You know, we share a lot in common when it comes to the Caribbean, right? So I thought about one Caribbean, one nation. Right?
The different segments that you have in your group.
Yes, so I have 8 Caribbean countries that do Carnival annually, right? We have the first group being Belize, and you saw that for King and Queen. That was the first group. And then I have the second group being a little mixture of some of the other Caribbean countries that do Carnival, like Barbados, Antigua, Grenada, Jamaica, Guyana, and St. Lucia. That is my second section. Then I have the last section being the mother of Carnival, Trinidad and Tobago. So right now I have 30. I'm still looking for 5. I got 1 today, so I'm looking for 4 more. So I am sure that by Saturday I will have more than 35, right? And we're definitely ready. You see my girls, they're definitely ready. We practice Monday to Friday every day. Right? So they're definitely ready.
Over on Rio Grande Crescent off Farbers Road, Jump Street Posse was bringing its theme Resilience to life with a costume made entirely from face masks to a wide range of colors in the final segment. Marina Welcome says she's ready for the win.
My mother passed away on the 5th of June, right? So this is in her honor, right? This dream here comes from her. You understand me? Every night I go to bed, like something different just come to me, and I come out next day and I create it. My first segment is Chester, Corona, the protector, right? On Chester you have the nurse and you have the doctor. They are the frontline workers that work so hard to let us be here. You understand me? So that was the first thing that came to my mind. You know, we have to big them up. It's all there, Dwayne, right? Everything to protect you from the coronavirus. It's all there, right? And after the Prime Minister opened up our city, you know. We were so tired and frustrated, you know. So with luck came joy, the spirit of Carnival.
That is your colorful section, right?
That's right.
It's impressive to say the least, Miss Marina. Let's talk about what we're seeing here.
Okay, when Joy came aboard, Joy is a myth, the myth of Carnival. When she came about, right? She came and she said, Miss Marina, that time for we bacchanal, you know, so we have to bacchanal. And when they think about bacchanal, what they think about Carnival? You understand me? And Carnival come with a lot of colors. I know I went to the over extreme this year.
From juniors to senior bands, Camp Night would take us to two other locations, Caribbean Treasures on Niels Penn Road and Trench Tongue Senior Band on Amara Avenue. It is at the latter location that band leader Patricia Flowers has been putting the final touches on her costumes. Flowers has been battling a series of unfortunate events, but is not giving up.
This year with the Hotel Senior, my team is a blast of the past, survival, and we're back. Basically, what we're going through with the pandemic. We had COVID, we had Corona, we had Omicron, Delta, whatever name they call it. We are representing that this year. And the back section of we celebrating with the back on the road, Carnival, Juve, clubs open. We also have to enjoy life once more.
Two segments you have, two sections?
Two sections, and that's about it.
Let's talk about how many revelers you have this year and the creativity behind it.
Well, right now, I wish everybody was here, but some people at work, we can't beat them up for that. But at the end of the day, we're down to like 63 right now. So I welcome everybody else because come Saturday we are got 75 and we are the out there on the road. The blend of colors is celebration, you know, celebration of life. Me, Patricia, personally, gone through hell, high water, come back, come down, come up. So I had to celebrate life this year because at the end of the day, I'm happy for they alive. I gone through COVID, Corona, still stand up. Time for I celebrate.
President of the Belize Carnival Association, Patrick Thompson, breaks down the importance of the mass camp.
The pre-judge is 80 points, right? 80 points, and then we have two judging on the road. We have one on the road, and we brought back what we call the last lap. This is where the band will have to put that final burst of energy at the end and give you all the final throwdown.
And that concludes the Carnival Mass Camp Day 1. There are 5 more to go.
The Ministry of Economic Development and the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security signed a pair of contracts at a value of roughly $3 million for the purchase and delivery of 10 Hino troop lifting vehicles, as well as office equipment. These items will be used by the Belize Defense Force. The procurement of these items is a direct contribution from the Belize Integral Security Program, which was approved in 2015 by the Central American Bank for Economic Integration, CABE. BDF Commander Azaria Loria spoke about the donation.
The Ministry of National Defense and Border Security signed for 10 Hino trucks. Those are for troop lifting, and a number of computers, printers, and servers. The intent with the 10 Hino trucks is to our trucks are limited at this point. Our troop lifting capability is limited at this point in time, and the 10 Hino trucks will come very handy at a time when we need it the most. We would have really wanted it a bit earlier so that we could start with the hurricane season. We're in the middle of it, and nevertheless, we are looking forward to receive them. We need the troop lifting capabilities for operational purposes, to make the life of our soldiers a bit easier, and also to assist them in their admin, their day-to-day administrative purposes where they have to move heavy equipment. In regards to the computers, we do intend to establish an intranet system within our headquarters where the computer assets are required, and that too will make our life easier in printing, in making for the persons, the clerks that work at the various offices at the headquarters.
And that's the news. Before we go, we would like to remind viewers that the finale for KTV The Remix is tonight, and our coverage of the red carpet event begins at 7:45. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.